You know that feeling when you check your bank account, and instead of panic, you see a number that makes your stomach drop. You've been told to save 3 months of expenses. Just put it in a savings account, lock it away, and you're safe. But here's the truth that nobody tells you. That money isn't safe. It's rotting. That 3-month emergency fund is actually the number one reason you're staying broke. While you're sitting on that pile of safety, inflation is eating your purchasing power alive, and opportunity cost is killing your future. You think you're building a shield, but you're actually building a cage. You're trading your freedom for a false sense of security, and the banks? They love it. They're taking your safe money, lending it out, and making fortunes while you lose ground every single day. But what if I told you there's a way to be prepared without burning your wealth? A way to keep the security, but lose the dead weight? In a second, I'm going to show you the math that changes everything. It's not about how much you save. It's about where that money actually lives. Let's cut through the noise. Most financial gurus will tell you, keep it liquid, keep it safe. But here's the reality. You are paying a massive premium for access to cash you probably won't even touch. This is what I call the liquidity trap. You're keeping $10, $20, maybe $50,000 in a high-yield savings account that barely clears, 4% interest, while inflation is actively eroding your wealth at a higher rate. It's not an emergency fund. It's a wealth destruction engine. You're essentially paying the bank for the privilege of keeping your money losing value. They aren't holding your money for you. They're betting on your fear. By keeping everything liquid, you're blinded to strategic liquidity, the ability to access capital without sacrificing growth. You don't need a massive pile of dead cash. You need a system that keeps your money working for you while remaining accessible. It's the difference between being a passive saver and a strategic player. Stop playing by the rules designed to keep you broke. In a moment, we'll break down the exact math on how to reallocate that dead money into a growth-ready stack. You'll see that the traditional 3-month rule is just a safety blanket for people who haven't built a real system. Okay, let's stop the guessing and start the math. Let's say you have a $5,000 monthly burn rate. The safe route says keep 15 grand in a standard savings account, rotting away at 0.5% interest. You're losing thousands in purchasing power every single year. That's not safety. That's a slow-motion bankruptcy. Here is the alternative. Tiered liquidity. You keep 1 month, just 5 grand, in high-yield liquid cash. This is for the oh crap moments that happen today. But the other 2 months, they don't belong in a bank. You move them into a money market fund or short-term T-bills. You're still earning interest. The money is accessible within 48 hours, and you're actually beating inflation. But what if there's a disaster? You're thinking. Here's the belief break. You have credit cards. You have home equity. You have other assets. You don't need to be your own bank. You need to leverage your liquidity. Most people think they need an emergency fund for 90 days. But do you really? Or are you just repeating advice meant for people who don't have a plan? In a second, we're going to build your optimized stack. You'll see exactly how to divide your capital so you're liquid and invested. It's the difference between being a victim of the economy and being the one who's actually ahead of it. Don't look away, because this calculation is the exact moment everything changes. You have the logic. Now you need the execution. The biggest mistake people make isn't the calculation, it's the inertia. They get comfortable with their safe pile and let fear dictate their strategy. But you aren't them. You're building a system that treats your money like a soldier, not a prisoner. Start by auditing your monthly burn. If you spend $5,000, keep 5 grand in a high-yield liquid account. This is your fire alarm cash. That's all. The rest, it gets reallocated into the T-bills or money market funds we discussed. You're not just saving, you're optimizing. The psychological shift is the hardest part. You will feel naked without that big, bloated, low-interest savings account. That feeling? That's not anxiety. That's you shedding the skin of a consumer and adopting the mindset of an allocator. You are taking control. You are moving from defense to offense. And here's the kicker. Once you automate this, you don't even have to think about it. The money moves, the interest compounds, And you sleep better knowing your wealth is actually working. You've stopped the leak. Now, let's talk about what happens when that extra capital starts working at scale. Now let's get tactical. You're ready to move that dead money. Where does it go? First, money market funds, MMFs. Think of this as your secondary liquidity tier. You can buy these directly through your brokerage. They track short-term interest rates and offer higher yields than your average big bank savings account. It's essentially cash equivalent. You can sell and transfer it to your checking account in a day or two. Next, treasury bills or T-bills. These are backed by the government. About as safe as it gets. You can buy them in 4-week, 8-week, or 13-week increments. The magic here? The interest is often state tax exempt, which is a massive hidden boost to your net return. When you ladder these, meaning you buy a 4-week T-bill, then another one, 2 weeks later, you create a rolling income stream. You always have a bill maturing, keeping you liquid, but your money is never just sitting there. You've moved from keeping your money in a prison to making it a soldier. It's simple, it's secure, and it's miles ahead of the 3-month savings lie. This isn't just about surviving an emergency. It's about winning the game while you're at it. I know what you're still whispering to yourself, but what if the real disaster hits? What if I lose my job for 6 months? Look, stop playing the what-if game based on fear. That's what keeps you broke. Instead, let's talk about stress testing. What is your actual unavoidable burn rate? Not your, I like to eat out and buy clothes, number. I'm talking about your survival number. Rent, utilities, basic food. That is your true emergency number. Most people take their comfortable life cost and triple it for their emergency fund. That's pure inefficiency. If you have a solid credit line, a supportive network, or even a side hustle, your actual cash buffer can be much leaner than you think. You're holding on to extra months of cash because you don't trust your ability to adapt. That's not prudence. That's a lack of confidence in yourself. By shrinking your oh crap fund to just the essentials and deploying the rest, you aren't becoming reckless. You're becoming agile. When you have capital deployed, you aren't just sitting on a pile of dust. You have the resources to pivot. You have options. And in a crisis, options are worth way more than a bloated, rotting bank account. We've dismantled the 3-month lie. We've replaced it with a tiered system, and you've seen that true. Security isn't a pile of cash in a dark vault. It's the agility to move, the intelligence to allocate, and the confidence to stop being a passive victim of the banking system. You started this video worried about your bank account. You're leaving it with a plan to build real net worth. The traditional advice was designed to keep you steady, predictable, and broke. By breaking that cycle, you're doing something 99% of people will never do. You're taking ownership of your capital. So, here's your final challenge. Stop looking at your savings as a buffer and start seeing them as inventory. Inventory for opportunities, inventory for growth, and inventory for your future self. Take that excess cash today, move it into your tiered system, and watch what happens when your money finally starts working for you instead of the other way around. You're done with the rot. You're done with the cages. You're finally in control. Now take the action.